Welcome to Word of Mouth. We're here. I hope that we keep what is.
I was going to say, I don't know if I'm going to keep the first 5 minutes of us going on and about roasting the toast and name dropping
we're
people.
Creating enemies here?
I hope the toast somehow hears that we're doing this right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get some traction from that.
This is going to be national news.
Why the toast sucks with word of mouth. We should do that just so it's like
We'll
a weird way
make a
that
We
my
could do
wife
it. We
does
could do a
it.
debate, and it's like us versus Lucy and Maddie or something like that.
Yeah, that could actually be good. That'd be a way that my wife could actually meet them because she's not obsessed. She's ashamed to be obsessed, but she's obsessed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Anyways, guys, we're here with Heather Ellis? ? I always forget your new last name.
That's right.
Yes, I definitely met you as Heather Wilson.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're here with Heather Ellis, who is a labor and delivery nurse, and we are so excited to have you on the podcast. So welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I know it is a dream. It's a dream come true.
Wow.
This audio right here, it's phenomenal. I feel like I'm inside the podcast already.
here.
It's amazing. I'm
It's like a
here.
cave.
The microphone. I'm like, oh, I'm eating this up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you said I'm shocked that your friends have not made a podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly, me too, a little bit. I would be the one to head it up, but I make podcasts in my car all the time.
Really? You talk to your do you
It's
act like it's a
literally
guest?
just me talking to myself.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's kind of
That's
awesome.
kind
It was birthed
sick.
out of having a really long drive to Charlotte,
Oh yeah.
and it was just stream of consciousness. But every time, you better believe there's a little opening and a closing bit. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
So
to,
when are you just gonna mass release 100 episodes?
have you
one
recorded
day?
any of them, or is it just?
I mean, they're all on my
they're
phone.
on voice memo.
There's
That's
actually
actually so
interestingly
elite.
enough, I did release one of them on SoundCloud, but only because this was post Beach Project.
Oh wow.
And it was one of I was leaving Beach Project. I had a maybe 20-30 minute drive to my next destination. And I was just kind of talking about the summer and
Where
just
were you going
reflecting.
from Panama City? That you were
I know.
only.
My aunt had a beach house.
Oh,
and so
nice.
I was
Okay.
going there to meet my family. And it actually ended up being a really cool reflection of what the Lord was doing that summer.
Sure.
And as a thank you and hey, you guys supported me through this summer. You probably could have,
Oh, it was to your supporters.
Yeah. So I put it out, and then I ended up sending thank you cards to the people that supported me with a little QR code to it or something.
The pod.
That's kind of cool.
And it was really, I was
Wait,
this
that's
is kind
actually
of
freaking genius.
I was I feel like this is a way that you can actually hear and see where your money went to. And also, I wasn't just going to the beach for all summer everyone thinks that you do at Summer Beach Project.
Yeah.
I really want to be better about journaling,
Mm-hmm.
but I just can't make myself sit down and write
It's like
ever.
voice journaling.
And yeah, I was going to say, the thing I've thought about doing
Mm-hmm.
is sitting down and just doing a bunch of voice memos because I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd actually be pretty sweet. If I had a voice memo on the day of my wedding or something where I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty insane what's going on right now. I'm alone. But yeah.
I just haven't figured out a good way to catalog them and
Yeah.
keep them somewhere.
I was reading, this is the second time we brought up God on this podcast. But I was reading Tim
It's
Keller's
almost as
book.
if we all worship and follow him.
We all have a God. But anyways, I was reading Tim Keller's first book that he has published since he's passed away. There's a word for it, and I forgot it. It's something
Posthumous?
Tell me how to pronounce
Probably
that. Posthumously?
It was something in between
Somewhere
what we
around
just
there.
said.
Anyways, but it was fascinating. So obviously, how that works is someone close to the author has access to his files, and they use his files, and they kind of accumulate a work, a collective work. And so his wife is the one who's doing that. Her name is Kathy Keller. And she was talking about how he has over 60,000 files on his computer.
Wow.
And they're documented super intricately. So he'll have one and it's the six deadly sins or something like that. And it's SDS dot 01, meaning first draft dot 0102, so meaning January 2nd, dot V3. So it's his
Wow.
third
Maybe as a
version of
key.
his first draft of this date. And it was but no, like he never told anybody how he did it. Yeah. So people have been having to like put it together, piece it together. So it's literally like learning a language in a way. But I feel like you could kind of do something like that. You could make it super like weird, but when you die, people like have this weird motive.
I kind of want to, because I do think it would be cool to track like progress towards whatever my life looks like in the future.
I feel like that has been one of the biggest things, because I started these in college. And so like I have all of these different like trains of thoughts, seasons of life, all of these things from different seasons. And like I've been able to see, or sometimes like I will listen back to them and be like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
That's it.
How many times did you do Beach Project? Or did you just do it once?
2 times. I did Disciple Summer, Room Leader Summer, was going to do CCP, then COVID hit.
That's right.
Was going to be a team leader, and then that didn't happen.
Wow.
So,
how did you decide to be a labor and delivery nurse?
I actually started. Heather knew who she was from a very early age. I used to watch something called A Baby Story on TLC.
The Learning Channel.
Ask your wives about that, because I guarantee they probably have seen that. But it was literally like a reality TV show where you would follow couples into the, like, before they go to the hospital, they're setting up their nursery, and then they go into the hospital, and then it's their labor and they have the baby.
Wow.
I would always play baby dolls, pregnant, giving birth. Like that was just my childhood. That was what I was fascinated by, have always been fascinated by. And then as I was like growing up and actually thinking about, well, I kind of should hone this into a career, I knew someone's mom was a labor and delivery nurse, and she was awesome. Like, everyone loved her. She delivered all of the people she knew's babies, and like she got to watch them grow up. And I'm like, that's amazing. And then I was really interested in like midwifery. I was interested in like maybe OBGYN. And then I thought about like ultrasound sonographer. But then I was like, labor and delivery nurse kind of meets all that in the middle. Wouldn't have to go to any extra schooling. And then the more I like thought about it, I interviewed that mom and just talked to her about it. And I was like, yeah, I think that's it. That's the dream. And so that was just always it.
And now you're living the dream.
No, I'm living the dream.
So you kind of like knew you wanted to work in like labor and delivery before you knew you wanted to be a nurse.
Before I had even stepped into a hospital, I was like L&D.
It's kind of awesome. So as you've been doing it so long, is it kind of, are you like would you ever go into any other nursing specialty, you think? Or are you like, would you just move somewhere else in, I don't know what to call it, like in another
like
area?
In women's health, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think that I could ever do another specialty. I think, so I'm cross-trained. So we at St. Vincent's are LDRPN. So it's labor and delivery, recovery, and postpartum.
Okay.
And like stabilization. So we kind of do it all. You see them from admission to discharge. They come, you admit them, you induce them, you deliver them, then you take care of them postpartum. You can also circulate in the OR when they do C-sections, and then we're PACU nurses because we recover them after their C-sections and anesthesia.
PACU, what does that mean?
Post-anesthesia
care unit. There we go.
There it is.
And then we're also cross-trained to stabilize the babies. So we are also like NICU. We're not NICU nurses. NICU nurses are amazing. But we like we stabilize the baby at delivery. So I don't think I could ever do, like, I loved UAB ER. I loved the adrenaline. Obstetrics / L&D is kind of an ER in amongst itself.
Sure.
Because you have the OB emergency room.
Yeah.
That, like, you never know what's going to come in. You don't know if the baby's going to be falling out. You don't know if she's, like, we're losing the baby actively and you've got to run them down to stat C-section.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you're trying to keep her pregnant when she's only, like, contracting at 23 weeks.
Yeah.
So it definitely has that adrenaline. And I love it. I could not do anything else.
Wow. That's sick.
Okay, so like boots on ground, like I know that day in the life is going to be like pretty much impossible to explain, but like maybe like your last day in life, like when was the last time you worked? Did you work yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
Like, what did you do yesterday? How many babies did you deliver? Like, what does this actually look like?
So typically, we come into huddle, and because we are all the things, you wait in huddle to hear your assignment. So currently I'm training someone, so we are on labor. So I know going into it, we're going to have a labor. But during huddle, they'll tell us, like, Heather, you've got 3:35. Okay. So, we go in, we find night shift, we see who's got our patient, we get report, and then we kind of go in, assess the situation. How dilated are they? Is their water broken yet? Are we contracting? What's going on? And then you basically just get to work, which it's like, okay, well, what do you do? So our biggest thing really, the goal is obviously to get to 10 centimeters and to have a baby. Once you get to 10 centimeters, you push. So it's like, it's not over till it's over. At any moment, things can go south. But the way we dilate, so we're all trained in something called spinning babies, which is like
It's like when they have the pizza dough and they like throw it up in the air and it spins.
Exactly that. So it's this like class that we're all trained in. We're all required to go to it, and it is really incredible. But it's about physiologic birth, and it's about the pelvis and the way that like the fetus moves through the pelvis in their cardinal movement. So like the baby has to tuck their chin. He has to rotate internally, then rotate externally, and then they have to come through and whatever. And we can manipulate a woman's pelvis to open it up in different ways in order to get the baby to come down. So the reason that you dilate is because the baby's head is pressing down onto that cervix. If I had more hands, I would give you a little bit of a diagram.
You can see what Myers is going to find a chart here.
I really don't want to, but I guess I can.
Just put a graphic that says, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Not safe for
This
work.
has been censored from YouTube.
But we go through all of these things, and that's the goal, is like you do all these positions to hopefully get your patient to dilate. You do cervical exams to check. Okay, so yesterday she was 5, and she was feeling pressure. We kind of looked at her belly. We could see that the baby was kind of a little wonky to the like left side. So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to turn her to the right side. We're going to tilt her on her head. We're going to put her leg up in a stirrup. That baby's going to turn, rotate, and come down. And then, next time we're going to put her on this side. We're going to pull her legs back on the peanut ball. And the baby's going to drop down even more.
The peanut ball.
The peanut. And the looks that you guys are giving me are the looks that the husbands get all day long.
I was going to say, that's like the main thing that we want to ask about is like...
This is why... This is why women typically don't play, like men's league sports.
Yeah.
Because like this is their one game and they get their fix.
Yeah.
For their whole life.
Giving birth is the game.
This is like, you're just talking... I feel like I'm in a football huddle whenever... My like
we're
high
gonna
school
get the
coach,
peanut ball, and as soon as we hit 5, we're gonna twist,
like,
pull.
I remember being like, we got a new coach end of my sophomore year in football. No, end of my freshman year, and he showed up in a completely different playbook, and he would like talk about it while trying to explain it to us, but he had like no way of knowing how to explain it to someone who didn't know what it was. So he would just kind of like jump in. This is how I feel. This is exactly how I felt whenever I heard that playbook for the first time.
So what do the husbands and the baby daddies
What do the rest of them do the whole time? Yeah.
Are they just like in there just kind of watching?
Yes. And sometimes it's weird. Like your brother-in-law, sister's friend, aunt, uncle,
like
grandmother.
Everybody's in there?
Sometimes.
Like while she actually gives birth?
No.
Oh, okay, but like before.
Clear. But like you kind of just have to wait around all day. Like their favorite question is like, so what's next? How far dilated is she? Like, so what do we do now? And I'm like, we just keep doing what we're doing. And I'm like, I wish I had a crystal ball. I wish I had a magic wand to like make her have this baby. But like we got to run the course.
What's the fastest you've ever seen?
Probably like, so sometimes they can come in from, well, I don't know, like a minute and a half.
Holy cow.
Like sometimes they'll come in from the emergency room. They'll call us and they'll be like, she's 9 centimeters. Her water has not broken yet. It's bulging through. We call that a bulging bag.
Yep.
She's 9 centimeters, bulging bag, like the baby. So then they run her down to us.
Yeah.
We get her in the room. There's monitors on your belly showing your contractions and the baby's heart rate. Plug the monitors back in, and then it's like 2 minutes later, baby's out.
Wow.
You pull the cords again. And so it could be quick, or they don't even make it downstairs. We call that a stop and drop.
Like when they're in the hallway? This happens.
We actually have had.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sure there's been a baby
just
born
like
in an elevator, honestly. I don't know.
There's been like a janitor walking by.
For sure.
And didn't sign up for it at all, but literally saw a woman give birth. Just like in a hallway somewhere.
In the lobby, in the car. We'll just like, we have this thing called Baby in a Box, and you just like grab your go box, and it has all the things you could need if like you were to deliver outside of a room. And so like someone's calling like 10 minutes out from the hospital, and they're like, my wife's about to give birth, like we're on the way. And we're like, okay, we'll meet you downstairs in the parking garage. We're taking our baby in a box, we're all gloved up, and we're like, is that the car? Is that the car? It's usually the one coming in on 2 wheels.
Yeah. That is insane. Okay, so like to go back to the day of the life story. So you put this girl on her side, and did it work?
Yeah.
You spun the baby.
We spun the baby.
Wow. Spanning babies. Okay, so is that, and do you just get a different patient after that, or did that take all day?
No, so typically, like the gold standard is going to be you labor 1-to-1, one nurse, one labor. If they have an epidural, you should be 1-to-1. That's like A1 standard.
Can you tell us what an epidural is? Because I've heard that word a lot of times, and I have like a vague understanding of what it is.
So if a mom does not want to feel everything during delivery, or just labor in general, it's the contractions and the pushing the baby out that really get people. And so you can opt for an epidural, which is a type of anesthesia so the anesthesiologist will come in, you'll sit up on the side of the bed, kind of like this, and you'll hunch over, and they'll feel in your spine, and they stick a long needle. It's awful,
like how
actually.
Long?
About yay big.
Whoa. It's like 4 or 5 inches, I think.
Yeah. And it's hollow because you have to thread a tiny tube through it. I know. It's the only time that I've like thrown up in nursing school was watching an epidural, and I've never watched another one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I'm on the other side of it. I'm staying on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Golly.
So they stick the needle into the spine, like in between the little spinal, vertebrae. They find the epidural space. And then once they know they're in the right spot, they will thread a tiny little tube, or it's a hollow tube. It's called a catheter, and it stays in there. So they take the needle out, the tube stays in, and then they hook it up to medicine that basically numbs you from like here down.
Okay.
So you don't feel anything.
Yeah.
So hence why like it's important for us as nurses to keep them moving, because they can't move if they have an epidural.
Right.
Sometimes they can. Like you can sometimes move your leg or your foot, or just like
wobble.
Yeah. But like you can't get out of the bed. We can get you on your hands and knees though. That's our like spinning babies.
Over the peanut ball.
Hail Mary like trick up our sleeves is like, I'm like, all right, how do you feel about this? I'm going to get some friends in here. We're going to put you on your hands and knees.
Yeah.
She's like,
and we're going to shake the apple tree. That's the other thing about spinning babies. They have crazy names for all the positions.
Yeah.
I love it.
Shake the apple tree.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Flying cowgirl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the one that really does it for people. I'll get
crazy.
you from stew to complete in 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a list of questions here from Ann Catherine.
Shout out Ann Catherine.
Shout out Ann Catherine. Friend of us.
Somehow still never been on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
In your face.
It'll happen.
Love you.
She said we can get everybody excited about this. At this point, with the way that we're scheduling podcasts, I don't know when this would actually come out, but
I would put this probably at the first week of January.
Yeah, in a while.
Love.
So like AK or Ann Catherine. It was what like
she was one of our best friends lives, like in COVID time.
Like yeah. So essentially AK is going to come and she's going to interview us.
She's so excited about this.
And the reason that she's going to interview us is because AK serves a unique purpose in Myers and I's life. And that is, AK was our best friend whenever Myers and I became friends.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a pretty fun episode. So we're recording that in like a month, but it won't come out for probably like 3.
It's meant to be like a 2-year anniversary reflecting on running a podcast. Yeah,
because we have been doing this for
it's been 2
a long
years.
time.
Yeah.
It is kind of wild. Like I was talking to Caleb Chansey this past week, and he was like, yeah, dude, and you just had like the amount of episodes. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. Like, if you're watching this podcast, like for me, it's just like we just do it every Friday. Like I don't really think about it very much. But if you were to jump on our page, like this is like episode 85.
I think.
It's like a lot of conversations. Anyways, but
awesome.
I have these questions from Ann and Catherine that I think are going to be so awesome. One of them I think is so great. What do you think every mother should know walking into their birth? What are the things that you think every expecting parent should be prepared for in the delivery room? So you can make it a little bit more relevant to us gents listening as well. But specifically to the moms, like what is one thing you wish that they knew coming into it?
I don't know if it's something I wish they knew, because sometimes I do think that people come in with a little bit too much knowledge that it kind of can instill some fear.
Interesting.
But because with the rise of social media and, everything, TikTok, you just hear everyone's horror stories. And when you don't know, when you're about to face something you don't know and you don't know what to expect, what do you do but Google and TikTok, like other people's experiences? And a lot of times, there's a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of horror story, because that's just what gets
sells.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's less of like what I would want you to know, but more of a mindset and attitude towards it. I think flexibility and just like being very open-handed with your birth process is a huge thing. Like
literal flexibility or like figurative?
No, but a lot of times I tell my patients, I'm like, you didn't know you were going to yoga class today, did you? Like you're going to wake up feeling like you ran a marathon. Because I'm putting their leg behind their head and they can't feel it with the epidural. I'm like, I'm sorry. One of my friends is a mom that I've delivered a few of her babies now. And she I think pulled a muscle. And I was like, I'm sorry about that.
Sorry,
you can blame me.
You pushing your leg back, her hamstring literally tears. And you're like, I'm sorry. You'll
gotta get this baby out.
Yeah. But I will say open-handedness and just flexibility, because I feel like when you come in, and there is definitely a element to being educated and prepared, so that you don't feel anxiety or scared, but a lot of times people cling so tightly to this expectation of what's going to happen or what should happen or what they want. And a lot of people want to have a natural, and by natural I mean delivery, vaginal delivery, as opposed to a C-section. And there is a time and a place for C-sections, and they save lives. But some people just hold really tightly to these things, and I think sometimes it can sway in the opposite direction of being a little bit traumatic when it doesn't go their way. And so also just knowing your nurses and hopefully the doctor that you've picked out have your best interest in mind, and that we're going to work for you,
Yeah.
But I think flexibility.
That's what I think Gracie and I talk about a lot, is because her sister had to have a C-section, and her mom had to have a C-section for their births, and sometimes Gracie will. I'm so team C-section. I think it's a great idea. I don't want my wife to baby. I don't want my wife to die in delivery. I'd rather just be like, let's schedule a C-section, go into it ahead of time. But anyways,
were you
sometimes
a C-section?
No,
I was.
Oh, let's freaking go! Come on.
Explains a lot.
But
kidding.
But sometimes I literally control the vocabulary we use, because sometimes Grace would be she'll talk about childbirth, and she'll use the word normal, or oh, she gave birth normally, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
that's not what that means. But
I love that, Stephen.
I know.
I love that.
Just training her ahead of time to
and
be
people,
open-handed.
Yeah, there you go. People there's this discourse about, I want to give birth naturally, And when they say like naturally, they mean without medicine. But I'm like, all birth is natural. C-section is natural. Vaginal birth is natural. You either gave birth medicated or unmedicated, and that was a choice.
Yeah.
But like, don't you dare shame that mom for a C-section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it is kind of funny the amount of I don't know how to explain it, but like the noise, the volume of like things, the ideologies that are out there because of TikTok. I mean, it's like, dude, getting a coffee when you go to like a new city is hard. I mean, I could not imagine something that's like this insane. I've never even thought about that. You gotta know that when like, and to be fair, when we went to New York, Claire was like on TikTok. Meyer's wife was on TikTok, and she was like trying to find like cool spots, and I had probably one of the best hot chocolates I've ever had in my life because of that. Yep. But like, dude, when Claire like is preggers, you gotta know she's even on TikTok like researching stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that makes so much sense. People are like, no, I saw it. Like, you're like literally a trained nurse. It's like, no, I saw on TikTok that you're supposed to do that.
Hey, can I do this? And I'm like, where did you
So how did you learn about that?
Come from? They're like, I saw it on TikTok. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so I was watching
I may or may not do this for a living every single day for many, many, many years, and I've done this hundreds of times.
So let's shake the apple tree, honey. You shut
It's okay. You can listen to that one person you've never met on TikTok if you want to.
And there are some incredible like creators, and there are also like some amazing pieces of education on TikTok. And I think like people are definitely moving towards advocating more for themselves and understanding like what to look for and being strong in their desires.
Yeah.
But like I said,
it's so crazy though. People, I feel like that's just like super prevalent. All right. Neither of us are fathers yet.
Right.
Yet.
If you could host a birthing class for us, what would be the things you would include in the curriculum?
Oh gosh,
Great
all
question
my hand motions. I would just be giving you diagram after diagram.
What is like what, in your opinion, as a person who's been in, obviously like you've been a part of like a lot of births, like what's like the appropriate vibe for like a husband?
I think just being present, being tuned into your wife, being a good support person, and like, okay, she's hurting, she's sad, she's crying. I'm gonna go to her. I'm not just gonna hide my head under the blanket and like lay down and sleep. Or I'm not gonna do not bring your Xbox to the delivery room.
That's happened.
That happens often. Do not do that.
It happens often?
Often.
What do you mean they bring their Xbox? Like
they bring an entire gaming console, set it up on the side table, and they are in the corner going to town while their wife is like just having contractions, getting her apple tree shook.
That is actually disgusting. They like use the TV that's in there, I guess?
No, they'll bring a computer screen. Yes, they will bring a monitor. Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anyone do that, like anywhere, like period. Like much less. Dude, that's nuts. Is there any other crazy things that husbands do? Like surely there's some dudes watching sports or something. Like I don't know.
For sure. Either just like sleeping, being uninterested, right got their game going. They're doing anything and everything but being attentive to their wife.
Dude, I thought it was so funny. Alan King, he like as an elder at Redeemer. But I think it was like their third kid. He was telling me one time. Alan's wife, I forgot her name, but Alan's wife is like super chill, and Alan is like the most hyper dude ever. Like he would be like, so whenever her his wife, because you like your water breaks and then typically like you don't give birth for like a while after that, right?
Yeah.
Something like that happened. She like knew, like, because it was her third like baby, that it was time. Like it was like she was gonna give birth that day or something like that. But it typically takes her like a lot of time. Right. So she literally like her water broke. She set a tea time for him to go play like 9 holes or 18 holes of golf to be like, you need to leave me alone. I need to just be with myself. Come home, take me to the hospital whenever you're done golfing.
Wow. That sounds like every husband's dream.
He's like too into it. She's like, no, you need to like.
There is a fine line between like being too into it and being fully removed. I've also had some dads who like will be within an inch of the mom the entire time and like talking to the belly, coddling the belly, like making baby noises to the belly. And I'm like, I'm going to need you to back up.
Hey, brother.
Hey,
shut up.
Let's take a seat.
That's crazy.
Jarring.
What kind of vibe do you think you're taking into that room, Myers?
I mean, I feel like I'm the everything's going to be okay, calm kind of.
Like, how are you like, because, you know, like if
I'm bringing a book, I'm not bringing my Xbox.
If it's like a situation, that was going to ask, like,
at calm times.
I feel like you
there is a lot of
sort of
downtime
have to
sometimes.
waste time
Yeah.
when you're in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would probably try and play cards with her if she can.
Cards, watch a movie, bring your favorite shows, bring your Fire Stick. That's a hack. Bring your
like your
Fire
Amazon
Stick.
Fire Stick?
Roku, whatever it is that you can plug into the TV.
Yeah.
Watch your shows. Make yourself at home.
Dude, they ain't got smart TVs at St. Vincent's yet, bro.
Facts.
They're running short on some moolah after the UAB.
St. Ratchet, we like to call it.
It's called merger. Oh, is there? This is a little brief aside. This is not an Anne Catherine question. But I'm curious, what has it been like working at St. Vincent's whenever the lockdown thing happened last year? Also, explain to them what that is. And then also, what has it been like since it became part of UAB?
When you say lockdown, do you mean like
whenever...
when we got hacked?
Yeah.
That was a wild time.
That was like a year ago now, right?
It was I think it was like right after I got married or right before, like leading up to it. But... It was really crazy. I wasn't there when we got hacked, like initially, but all of a sudden, all of our computers just look like this little surfing guy. It's like this, like not Subway Surfer, but it was just like this little emoji of a little surfer, and we were like, "What is happening?" And we scrambled because we haven't had to paper chart in probably 20 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we then had to take everything that was automated, like everything that we do on the computer, and somehow find papers for downtime to like start paper charting.
Yeah.
Every single person had to sit in their room. So when you're laboring, there is something called Feed-A-Link, and that is like the computer program that you watch on the screen that has the baby's heart rate on it. Those are also connected to the outside. Like we have the nurse's station with big like TVs basically.
Okay.
And we can see every single person that's in labor and every single baby's heart rate and tracing from the like desk. So I can leave my patient's room and know that she's going to be safe because I'm out there watching the baby's heart rate.
Sure.
At all times. So we did not have that because the
even that got
down.
shut down too.
Everything on the computer. We didn't even open the computers.
Wow.
They were down. So we all had to sit inside of our rooms, and the monitor, like the big actual piece of medical equipment, runs paper. And so it's, I should have brought some for you guys. Can't bring a prop. So it's like it's printing instead of being on the screen in real time. It's printing in real time. And we would just have to sit and listen to our baby's heart rate. And if it started going down, we're listening to it or we're watching it on the monitor.
Yeah.
And we would intervene. So like you couldn't really leave your room.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet how long was it? How long did that period of time?
I don't know. It's a blur. Maybe like a month and a half, 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe longer than that. I'm really not sure.
So annoying.
That's crazy.
It was pretty crazy.
I bet you got tight with those patients.
Yes. One of those patients I specifically remember like and this was one of the ones that she has such a cool story, but we were like, we had gotten married at the same place. I was telling him I was about to get married at the Wine Loft. She was like, oh my gosh, we got married at the Wine Loft. It was amazing. And anyway, it comes time to deliver. She's pushing. It's her second baby. And she was like, I had a dream that I delivered the baby at 1:11, like 1:11. I looked at the clock and it was 1:11. I was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And I like looked at the clock and I was like, bummer. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to call the doctor in a few minutes. And then all of a sudden, we're waiting on the doctor to come and we're not really paying attention. The baby basically just starts delivering itself because at a certain point when they're already at like crowning, your body takes over and just like the
sends
contraction. Yeah. It's called fetal ejection reflex.
Wow.
And so I delivered the baby before the doctor got in there. And when the baby is delivered, you call time. You pull your cords on your like monitor and you call the time out. And
it was 1:11.
My nurse behind us was like 13:11, and I was like,
"No way!
What did you just say?" And she was like, "I was like, what time was he born?" She was like 13:11, and I looked at the mom and I was like, "He was just born at 1:11." And she thought I was saying he was 11 pounds. She was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "He was born at 1:11." And her husband actually has a video of this. Like he was recording at the time, and so it was so cool. We follow each other on social media, and
that's
like
crazy.
she actually got a tattoo that says like 1:11.
Wow.
I was like, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
I believe that is one thing about being in this like field. I believe in dreams.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's actually wild. I don't know if we've ever had like a supernatural testimonial on this podcast. I think that's the first one. That is so insane. That's also such a weirdly like non-anticlimactic like prophecy too, you know? It's like, wonder what like 1:11 doesn't really mean anything, but I totally understand why she got that tattooed because that's so weird.
I think people like angel numbers. I feel like people like it's 3 numbers.
Yeah.
I think people are big into
3.
that. Like, yeah, things like that.
Wait, what?
Like
the angel number?
There's something called angel numbers, and it's like 1 through 9 probably in 3 digits. So it's like 111, 333, 444.
Wow.
So on and so forth. And I think they all mean different things.
I have no idea.
So like maybe she really clung to the angel number of 111.
111.
You've also delivered a bunch of your friends' babies.
I have.
Is that
what a privilege?
Is that like, to me as a guy, that feels like it would be weird.
You would think I thrive. If my pregnant friends come over to the house and we have a like group activity, I'm like, all right, who wants to play? How far is so-and-so dilated? I'm like, I'm taking her to the back. I'm getting my gloves and we're taking guesses.
That's crazy.
Actually, I've only done that twice, but.
Only twice.
two times more than most people probably.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'll make a house call. I love a house call.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It is really cool. I actually, like, I've delivered a good group of people that, like, I know, whether that be coworkers or, you know, mutual friends or just friends, but I've delivered, like, one of my very close friends. It's, like, kind of starting in the wave of a lot of people when they get pregnant and are my best friends, they always love to move away and not be at my hospital. But recently, I just got to deliver one of my best friends, and it was really, really cool.
That's
really
and it was really special.
Do people like? I guess they specifically ask for the doctor who you work under, or
no? So we work for all doctors at St. Vincent's.
Okay.
So if your doctor delivers at St. Vincent's, then I can be in there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And you can like request that, or do you request that?
Yeah. If I know like when they're coming in, or like say she calls me and she's like, my water just broke, like I'll just go in.
Oh, sick.
But she was being induced, so I was like, all right, well, I'll be there.
See ya there, girl.
Like even on your like off day, you just pull up?
I would. Honestly, if it was my off day, I would just like go and play doula Heather.
Scrubs her in the car. You just
yeah. I just wouldn't have to clock in and do all the charting, which honestly sometimes is nice.
That would be so clutch. Huh. Dude, so like what is MEC? It's pronounced MEC. And
so
how
weird for this
would
one.
you describe it?
MEC stands for meconium, and that is the baby's first poop.
Okay.
It's
Thanks for that one, AK.
She's so weird. So the first time they, for whatever reason, I knew the science behind it at one time. Don't really anymore. But it's the baby's first poop. So like the first time they poop or the first few times, it looks like black sticky tar.
Huh.
Yeah. And sometimes when you go like past your due date, or the baby can sometimes get stressed out in your womb, they can poop inside of you. And so that is called meconium stained fluid, which isn't funny. But so when we break their water, we like note whether it's clear, whether it's bloody, whether it's thin meconium, thick meconium.
Does it smell bad?
Particulate meconium. Not really. That's
Okay,
one. That's
good.
one good thing. Is like it doesn't smell.
Doesn't smell like doo-doo. That would suck if you were giving birth. Well, I guess like
the fluid kind of smells, but like once the baby's born and it's in a diaper, no, it doesn't smell.
How often do the moms actually poop? Because that's something I hear that happens.
A lot.
Like 50%?
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, God bless. That
we
would
get
just be
really good at hiding it.
You do?
Yeah.
Like you're like
you
like put it into a bag. So you don't want
the
them
moment
to know.
it catches air, you've got to lock that up.
Yeah. Okay, this is another random question. So you're a labor and delivery nurse. What are the nurses called that grab the baby out of the mom in a C-section?
Nurse practitioners. So the doctor, so whoever's around the operating table is going to be the primary surgeon, your doctor, the assistant, who is usually another doctor from that practice, and then the neonatology nurse practitioner.
Oh, okay.
So not the neonatologist, but the nurse practitioners. They are the MVPs of like the NICU. They're phenomenal. We love our nurse practitioners.
NPs.
Yes,
the NNNPs.
There you go. They're pretty awesome, and they're the ones that like they come up to the table too, and they have their little sterile blanket, and then they like it's nice to have them in the OR because they're like the qualified person. Like if anything goes south, like you want them in there. Yeah. So,
what is a placenta and why do people keep it?
A placenta, that's basically the organ that your body grows attached to the baby inside that then like embeds in your uterine lining, and your blood starts to flow through it. That's where the exchange of gas and like oxygen happens into the umbilical cord to the baby. So it oxygenates and it gives nutrients to the baby. So when your baby is delivered, they're still attached to the cord. They cut the cord, and then after the baby is like, yay, whatever, it's disconnected. You have to also birth the placenta, which is not as bad as it seems. You literally just kind of bear down and push a little bit more, and it's there.
Wow.
Huh. Yeah. It's like, it kind of looks like a big raw steak. And it has a bunch of vessels on it. Yeah. And then they call it the tree of life because it looks like a root system. It's really cool.
Why do people keep it?
People have this idea that there is nutrients in it or hormones that like it'll help. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I was going to say switch it around because you have it on backwards. Yeah. It'll probably stay on better.
You're like,
my bad.
Wow.
No.
There it goes.
I'll just keep my head forward. People think that it helps with like the hormone shift in postpartum. They think that the created hormones in your body, and when you're postpartum, it all comes out with the placenta, and then you feel crazy post-birth because of the hormone shift. And so they think if you like dry it up, freeze dry it, put it in pills, take it, that it'll like have this added benefit of stabilizing your hormones.
So when people eat it, they put it in pill form?
Most of the time, yeah. Or they can freeze it. Sometimes you can throw it in a smoothie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's real?
I don't think I would personally ever do that. I don't know if I could say it's real or not. I think that people get this from being in the wild. Like animals eat their placenta.
Yeah.
And I think that probably comes from survival instincts, like leave no trace kind of thing. Like they don't want people to know they
keep
just
our
gave
trails
birth.
Clean.
Yeah, Smokey the Bear. But they think that that's natural, that's nature.
Huh.
So I don't know. I personally
wouldn't
do that.
Whenever people use like animals, like wild animals as reasons and arguments, I never know how to feel about that. Mm-hmm. Like I've heard people use that for lots of different things, like just war, homosexuality, like lots of different philosophical disagreements. But I also one time I was at the zoo and saw a gorilla puke, eat his poop, puke, eat his puke, puke, eat his puke, puke, eat his puke. And it was like a marvel. I couldn't stop watching it. I was like, this is crazy. He was just like sitting up on a rock. It was like a hot day outside.
It's disgusting.
And he was just puking, eating his puke over and over again. And I was like, it's one of those moments. Somebody walked over and they're like, what are you looking at?
I don't remember the last time I went to a zoo, to be honest.
It's majestic. We went for Zoo and Brews a few months ago.
Nice. Great. Is that a thing that they do at the Birmingham Zoo?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny how whenever I was a kid, I go to the zoo in Birmingham, be like, this is freaking awesome. There's peacocks around. It's my last name. And then now, the weirdest. I'm not like an animal activist. Also today at lunch, Jacob asked us, "What have you ever been an activist about?" And I was like, I genuinely don't know if I've ever been an activist about anything. I've never been to a single rally, nor do I really know if there would be one that I would go to. Anyways, I think it's really interesting when you're in Birmingham specifically, and you're coming from, like, if you say you're coming from the summit on 280 and you're making the merge onto 31, and you can see the zoo over to your right. And in the winter, when the trees are dead, you can literally just look over there and see like
giraffes,
2 elephants and 3 giraffes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are we doing?
I was like,
how do they fit between here and English Village?
Like, how are they like? Before I knew it was the zoo, I was like, what kind of moron Mountain Brook family has a pet giraffe? And then I was like, the moron the Mountain Brook family is just the owners of the city of Birmingham. It's just the city of Birmingham. But it is so weird that happens. Anyways, not to get on an animal side tangent. I'm also curious here. Here's a great question from Ann Catherine to get us back on the L&D vibes. What are some other ridiculous things that have happened in the delivery room that people would only believe if they saw it with their eyes? Yeah. The 111 thing is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
50% pooping, also nuts. We've said a lot of the guy with the Xbox. I think would have to be the most. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like dumb, but that feels not real. That happens. That's insane. Okay, so are there any other stories that come to your mind?
Honestly, I think I'm pretty bad about like forgetting things that happen. I think you
just regulated
you sometimes
insanity.
Yeah, you sometimes like block things out because sometimes they're like a little traumatic, and then sometimes it's like every day is just crazy, another thing, and then so I would say we see a lot of crazy names. That's for sure. There's always that. Yeah, just like family members can sometimes be a little bit wonky. And, sometimes the things that they do and say. We had a family member hug and kiss one of my coworkers on the forehead the other day. And we were like, I'm sorry. She was like, guys, the grandpapa just kissed me on the forehead. And we were like, no, he didn't. So sometimes it's just like humans being humans. Yeah. That you're like, my God, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah. What's like, talk us through, you are a professional when you have a kid.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask.
When you have a baby, like what is going to be Heather's way?
That's a good question.
That's a really broad question, and it will take like months to obviously be pregnant and have a baby, but like high level. Yeah. What's stuff that you've learned that you're like, I must have it this way?
People always ask me, they're like, does being a labor and delivery nurse like make you feel like you're more prepared? Does it make you more scared to have a kid because you know exactly like what could go wrong? Obviously, like I think I want a vaginal delivery. So I think Hayden was one time like, what's the point? Like, why do people, sometimes you can do
That's your husband.
Yes, Hayden is my husband. People sometimes do try something called a VBAC, which is like vaginal birth after cesarean. So you have a C-section, you want to do a vaginal birth after. And Hayden was like, what is the big deal? Like, what's the point? I'm like, it's kind of magical, like the vaginal delivery, not the whole like vaginal delivery in general, but like the moment that they get to put your baby on your chest and your husband just like gets to be there and you guys like first lay eyes on this like little baby that you created and now your life has changed forever. It's really cool. It's one of my favorite moments.
Do they not get to do that in C-sections?
Not really. Because everything is sterile. You're in an operating room. You're all gowned up in garb.
Yeah.
And like the NP will bring the baby around to you and that's so cool. And they'll drop the drape and like show you the baby, but it's just different. There's something different about that.
Yeah.
So I'd obviously try that. Honestly, I would just hope, like I definitely want an epidural because I have the pain tolerance of a gerbil. So I'm not even going to try that. Unless I'm like rolling up on 2 wheels, I'm giving birth in the car and don't have time to think about it.
Sure.
Give me the epidural. I want to be moving, shake my apple tree. And I just want all my friends in there. Yeah. Like having Hayden and all my like coworkers in there, that's all I need. I just want to have fun. I just want to have good vibes. I think my biggest thing would just be praying for like a really calm and good vibe day, because things can be scary. And sometimes like labor, you just feel ugh. So I would just hope that I would feel good, but like you can't predict that. Yeah. You know, that's the thing, is like you can have this whole idea and expectation of what you want it to be and what it's going to be like. And it might go the absolute complete opposite. And also might get really scary. So like letting go of that. I had a friend, my close friend that I delivered. She was like just getting really nervous the few days before. And I was like, honestly, you just kind of have to, at a certain point, trust that the Lord is good and that everything that's going to happen from the time you like enter into the hospital to go home, the Lord already has like ordained, and you're just going to have to give it up.
I feel like that's something too that AK is listed on here that I wanted to talk more. Like I feel like out of all things in the world, the time, or I guess like besides nature, like when people are in like see mountains or something, this is the time when you hear a lot of people say like there has to be a God, like this has to be a thing. What has it been like for you faith wise as a L&D? Like I mean, for you, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that open ended. Like, what has it been like for you as a person of faith to be a labor and delivery nurse?
I think it's twofold. I think that yes, the way that delivery, labor, birth is, and just the way that it happens and can happen so seamlessly, you just kind of look at it and you're like, wow, that can't happen randomly. Yeah. Like all these little tiny intricate spots. I think because I am a nurse and because we're in the medical field, like we kind of feel like we're intervening a lot. And so it's kind of hard to not muddy that line of like, not that we're doing it all, but like you kind of sometimes have to step back and remind yourself not to be jaded of like, this is a miracle. This is the miracle of life. I think another part of it is just the relationships I get to see with people, or like be and step into with people. It's like the most sacred thing in the world. Yeah. These people are, whether like they've, you know, a lot of times, so people are nervous because you've never been in the hospital before, say, like, unless you've been sick. Like you don't just, or if you've not been, like you're not like a sick person, you've maybe never been into the hospital. So like this is your first experience in a hospital. It's usually a happy thing, and sometimes it's not, and I'll get to that. But being able to step into like the most vulnerable and like sacred moments with these people as they are laid bare, being tossed and turned, being like in really scary situations, and having to then like look at you and you're their only source of like comfort and like, hey, I've got you. It's going to be okay. In those moments is so special. And like, I just get to stand there and witness them become a family and them get emotional. And I'm like, thank you guys. And they're like, thank you so much. And I'm like, thank you. Yeah. Like, it's amazing.
It's got to be weird to do that with strangers, right?
Right. And then you like walk away feeling like they're family.
Yeah.
And it's even cooler.
Like out in real life after? Yeah. And you're like, are you allowed to talk to him? Like if you like see him in like Walmart?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times there's one of the moms that we started nannying for, me and Grace did. Grace is one of my amazing coworkers. She's in midwifery school now. She's the one I went to Africa with. And she and I we took care of the same patient. And she was talking about like nannying, and we were like, oh my gosh, like, well, we nanny, so give us a call anytime. We've like started nannying her like first son, and she now has 3 kids, and we delivered every single one of them, both of us.
That's crazy.
And so like they really do become family, and that's cool. It's really cool at Redeemer because a lot of Redeemer families I get to deliver. Yeah. And so like at Best First, like one of my sweet families like ran up to me and was like, hey, it. She's like, it's been 4 months. Like, he's huge. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
It's amazing.
Insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about Africa.
Africa was wild. Absolutely crazy.
Where were you there? Like, which country were you in? Which city were you in? And also, what'd you do when you were there?
Yeah. So we went to Kenya. We went to Kapsawar. It's like a high elevation little mountain town, a little bit outside of Eldoret, but we always flew into Nairobi, flew to Eldoret, and then drove from Eldoret to Kapsawar. And so there's a doctor at our hospital who typically goes like every year. She's been going either to this hospital or just somewhere in, anywhere. A lot of times, like, she's just gone to everywhere. And she'll go and she'll either help out or she'll go and give the OB like kind of a break so that they can go back stateside and be with their family for whatever, holidays, things like that.
Yeah.
So when we first started at St. Vincent's, Grace and her were talking about it, and she was like, oh, she mentioned Africa in passing. And Grace was like, oh, well, we want to go to, give us more information. Like, we would love to go with you the next time you go. And so back in 2023, she was like, all right, girls, like, I'm going to Africa. If you want to come, like, you should do it. It's through Samaritan's Purse and like World Health Organization. You have to like apply and just tell them this is the hospital and they'll place you there and, whatever. It was a big, long process. And about a month prior to like our trip, we're like getting things all finalized. It's you're getting all these documents, vaccines and stuff. And she had health issues and she was like, girls, I'm not going to be able to go. And we were like, oh no, what do we do? And we, after about 30 seconds of like, oh no, we were like, we should still go.
That's crazy.
And so Grace and I hopped on a flight by ourselves to Africa, and Samaritan's Purse was amazing. And they like meet you every step of the way. They like, have this coordinate. This person's going to meet you here. This person's going to bring you to this hotel. This is like this. And they're amazing. So the first time we were there for almost a month probably, and we were working in the maternity ward. Excuse me. And the women over there are incredible. They are so stoic, so strong. And the hospital that we were working at, Kapsawar Mission Hospital, they like are one of the bigger hospitals in the surrounding areas. Like, people walk miles to get to this hospital. And so some women are giving birth like at these small dispensaries. This is like a legit hospital. They have like an antenatal ward where there's pregnant women. They have postpartum ward, plus like entire nursing school, children's, surgical, everything. The families over there that work at this hospital are also like phenomenal. They've been in Kapsawar for like 20 plus years, raised all their kids there, like just incredible people. But anyway, so we just got to work with the OB, and then all of the nurses are basically trained midwives. Like, the nurses deliver the babies, and then if there's like an obstetrical emergency or C-section, that's when the doctor steps in. And then also, of course, the doctors do like all the clinics and rounding. Sure. So Grace and I just got to like play. We got to be in the labor ward with like these laboring moms, and they didn't speak a lick of English. We don't speak a lick of Swahili. Wow. And that was really cool because we like basically, I say podcast. We have like videos from that time of like, we would send out like back in a shared album, like home to our families, just like telling them what's going on and just vlogging. And, but it was such a cool testament to labor and delivery, because like you step into this sacred moment where they don't know you from Adam. They don't speak your language, and you're stepping in to help them cope with labor and like giving your 3 phrases of good job, mama, push, and like, you can do it. And so, and like, all you needed was to look in their eyes and like see that you had their trust, and like they trusted you, and like they were so thankful, like just for you helping them.
Did you have translators in that moment, or
no? we had our phones, so like if we really needed to, like we could translate something. But a lot of times we would just show them pictures of like positions that we would want them to be in, or like hands and knees, and we would like show them, and we'd be like, okay.
You'd be like, apple tree,
shake apple tree, and we would be with them from like the time they came in. We would get heart tones until we got to deliver their babies. And it was incredible. And they don't have epidurals, by the way.
Scary.
Yeah. They're incredible.
That's crazy.
Made you appreciate like coming back and all of the interventions and medicine that we have here.
They just don't have.
They don't have. They're so flexible. The doctors over there are so flexible. They are my heroes.
like I don't know how to ask this. Maybe this is a dumb thing to ask, but like what is an example of that? Like, like what's something that would happen in America that maybe people wouldn't need to do actually if they just like kind of were patient?
Well,
or maybe that's not the right.
So I think what you're asking. So, for instance, over there, they obviously don't have epidurals. They also, have instruments or things that like they just reuse. They just don't have the luxury of having a brand new packaged thing every time for every patient. And so they clean it in like a solution and then they reuse it for the patient. The labor ward is open, 4 beds of just plastic material, kind of like this. No linens, no beds, no privacy. You're just in laboring by the other women giving birth. Like,
wow.
If all 4 beds are full, this one's screaming, this one's pushing, this one just had her baby, and this one's like bleeding out.
Wow.
And so you're just like, oh my gosh.
Holy cow.
Crazy.
Like the emergencies over there are scary because they don't have, the readily available things that are just
14
we can do
different
in 30 seconds here in America.
Specialties within like 100 feet of you. Yeah.
Right. So like when they're pouring blood, they're calling in for help, but like you can only do so much.
Yeah.
Or for instance, one time I had delivered a baby and we looked back up and the mom still looks pregnant. And we were like, I think there's another baby in there.
There's another one in there.
Yeah. So, they get the ultrasound and we call the doctor in and she's seeing if she can maybe flip the baby to be head down so we can do 2 vaginal deliveries. Well, it's not working. And then the heart tones, like the baby's heart rate is low, like dangerously low. And so normally in America, we would deliver the first baby. Oh no, we can't turn it. The heart rate is down. We're going to roll stat to the OR and we're going to get the baby out within like 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't until about 45 minutes later that we got the other baby out via C-section. Because what do? You have to wait for the anesthesiologist to walk from home to the hospital. The baby's heart rate is in the 80s. Yeah. She has one umbilical cord hanging out of her and she is getting a Foley catheter placed and she's walking herself up to the OR.
What?
Like it is just a different world.
Wow.
And
that's insane.
It's amazing. But like, yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard for me to think about all this without thinking, like hospitals didn't. When was the first hospital? Like 1800s, 1700s? Like not
1600s.
1600s. Like, I mean, it's for the vast majority of human history. Like hospitals didn't exist, and even more so, definitely didn't exist in the way that we have them now. And a lot of people were just having kids like in their house. Like probably a lot of them without a doctor for like the vast majority of human history. It's just so interesting to me that now there's just like so much readily available that people can come in and your problem is literally like they've learned too much from TikTok or something.
That also that makes me I've been wanting to ask, what is a midwife? Because I feel like midwifery goes back before hospitals.
Probably.
I think like there's always been the one person who
the one person in town who's like good at that.
Yeah.
Midwives are amazing. I wish we had midwives. UAB just got a midwifery program a few years ago and have like a team of awesome midwives. We don't have midwives at St. Vincent's, but obviously like Grace is in midwifery school. Another one of my coworkers or 2 or so have like gone on to do that. And basically midwives are not so OBs, they can do like the surgical interventions, the operative births, like forceps, vacuum. I don't know actually if a midwife can do that, but they can't do C-sections, things like that. But the biggest difference with a midwife is they have a holistic like training and like care approach. So they care for the entire mom. Like you are not just a patient to them. Like they are in trauma-informed care, holistic, like compassionate care. And they're also very like patient and naturally inclined like to the birth process. So like they're going to let you do it. A lot of people who have midwives, like sometimes they don't have epidurals, and sometimes the patients who do midwifery or like go to a midwife, they might have a hospital birth and have an epidural. But like your midwife is going to be the one that like is just letting you do it and sits by your bedside and is like asking how you're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not going to be rushing to call you failure to progress at 5 p.m. because they want to go home. You know, like they're going to stick it out with you and really opt to like let the body do what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty awesome. Gracie really wants to do it that way.
Yeah.
So we'll see. She like switched her OB like a few months. I don't know if I'm allowed. I think I'm allowed to say this. This isn't like weird to Gracie, but she like switched her OB to a new girl at I think she's at Brookwood. That is like she's a trained like has her MD, but she's also midwife as well.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
It's like the best of both worlds.
I was gonna say, I think that's really cool. I don't know if this is a hot take, but my hot take on medicine is that I think that medical professionals should have that perspective of like the body is an amazing organism, and like we don't understand half of what a body can do.
Right.
And so I think that your job as a medical professional should be to enhance the body's ability to fight off illness or to give birth or do whatever it's supposed to do. Like you shouldn't be trying to intervene. You should be trying to enhance the body's ability to, do what it should do.
I was reading Wendell Berry the other day, and he has this idea of like education. When education becomes primarily about information, it lacks to be education, and
it's indoctrination.
And he's like education's primary goal should be teaching people how to be good citizens, and not in the sense of like American citizens, like citizens in the sense of like they're a part of a culture and they're supposed to be like helping the greater good, and that's what the point of it is. And I don't know, I thought that was like incredibly compelling, but I feel like doctors, because it is so hard to be a doctor, I feel like it's really hard for them to keep their personality or their like touch and their feel towards like being a person and being a human, because you kind of have to resort to being
and they see
like
a lot.
robotic.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, people get online and they're like, okay, like like even like lately students are like we know that if you want to get into this med school, you have to like this med school, it's like higher likely if you're on a sports team, and this one it's like higher likelihood if you're the captain of a sports team.
Interesting.
And like people will go like play sports to get into med school, and it's like that's not why med schools are bringing in like they just want people who are like having fun, like they want like normal people
accomplishment
to do it. They want people that are like having fun with their friends, not people who are like trying to put on their resume that they have fun with their friends so they get into them. But everything just becomes so algorithmic, I guess. But I feel like that's one of the cool parts about midwifery is it kind of invites like the being a person back into it. I think it's so cool that UAB in a professional way is doing that, because it kind of has been, from what I can tell, it's been pretty like what's the name of that store? What's the name of that like hippie girl store that used to be at the mall? Oh my gosh, they sold like tapestries and like dream catchers and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like for a long time midwives were like they brought it with incense and like they sat like they were like meditating and stuff. And
I will say that is like one of my biggest frustrations with like the obstetric world is there's a lot of conventional wisdom of just how labor should be. And like you said, it's like, it just becomes this is Bible. This is textbook.
Yeah.
And there's this thing called the labor curve that a lot of doctors like to throw out when the patient is still, 4 or 5 centimeters at the end of the day. And they're like, hell, you're just way off the labor curve. And I have to just keep myself from deep set eye roll. And I'm like, if you could just let her do what her body will eventually do, as long as it's safe,
Yeah.
Like if we have no reason to just go on and head back to the OR, why don't we take some time? We can take some time.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is definitely very prevalent.
Yeah. That's crazy. I feel like we've been talking about so many unbelievable things. Like I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, what am I going to name this episode? And I feel like it'd just be like giving birth with Heather Ellis.
The joke I made when I texted you guys was what to expect when you're expecting, and I still kind of think that might be a good title.
Labor and literally, it's just insane.
The miracle of birth.
Yeah, there you go. There's a saying that is like a pun with the peanut balls. Like people have bad drills, and it's like birth takes balls.
That's hilarious.
Funny.
Yeah.
All right. Last question, and then we'll wrap here. Okay, so one of the things that you get probably more awareness of than anyone else, and everyone is incredibly interested in, is name trends. So as a labor and delivery nurse for the past, how long have you been at 5 years, 4 years?
4.5.
4.5 years. What are the name trends right now? Where are we going? More Mohammeds, more Marys.
I've heard a lot of Junes. I know a lot of Junes.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like people are getting back to the really old school, family names. Like if it was a family name, no matter how weird it was, it's going to be the baby's name. Or this is kind of where it gets into HIPAA. I can't can't really name the ones that are coming to my mind. But this is made up an example, but if your maiden name, if your mother's grandmother's maiden name was Chauncey, then that's going to be your son's name. Chauncey. Or your daughter, honestly, the daughter named Chauncey. And so this is funny. I saw a TikTok the other day, of course. And it was this little girl, and her name was Chesney. And everyone in the comments was roasting them. And they were like, someone rescue Cheddar. Someone get Cheez-It. And they just kept going on and on and on.
Tough.
And that's kind of people are making up names at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just family's mother's once removed cousin maiden name. If they heard it and they like it and it's kind of out there.
They're yeah.
It's funny. Claire and I talk about names, obviously. And a lot of times what we talk about is I don't want to roast someone, but think about just a random dad's name, Dale or something of that nature. It's really hard to picture a cute little baby named
Craig,
Bonnie, or something.
Or
Bonnie's
pretty cute.
But Craig, Greg,
Shane.
Dale, it's hard to be cute little
Robert.
baby Greg,
right?
Yeah.
People either name the baby as an adult or they name the baby as a baby, and they're I've never met an adult Lemon before.
A bunch of my parents' friends, my mom's friends, were all named Jennifer.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to picture cute little baby Jennifer. Might have to go by Jenny for a few years before we graduate to Jennifer.
Right.
In my hometown, there was an abnormal amount of Tammys. And I couldn't imagine being hey, Tammy, little baby Tammy. Tammy in my mind is 40-year-old annoying woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny.
Things that are really off the wall, and these were so long ago. I've never had these patients, but Boots. You're naming your kid Boots.
Nick Saban.
That's crazy.
Crimson and White. Things like that.
That's so...
Or just yeah. Lucifer.
I had a rule. That's crazy. I had a rule in college that if a girl's name had an EIGH and it shouldn't have an EIGH, then she was crazy.
A lot of times, my patient's husband's name was Jake the other day. Well, oops. And, and I was like, how do you spell that? And he was like, spells it the normal way. And I was like, you'd be surprised. He asked me, he kind of looks at me like, of course I would spell this 4-letter word or name that way, like the most common way. I'd be like, yeah. But except when I ask people like, oh, that's sweet. Like, how are you spelling that? And then they rattle off 17 letters because they want it to be different.
Jieghke.
Leigh.
Jack. J. This is Jack. His name's spelled JJ. I met a kid the other day named Jajon. 2 J's.
The first one is silent.
Yeah. No, literally wasn't silent. It was straight up Jajon. Crazy.
Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Thanks,
I feel totally outed right now because straight up Gracie and I definitely were looking at family names the other day.
Okay,
like
but some of them are
No.
cute.
Yeah, I do
we
think
were.
There is a time and a place, and we're probably gonna use a family name. Like,
We,
Myers goes back like 5 generations.
Are you
So
gonna
we
go
were
Myers
looking
Jr.?
I have to use Myers somehow.
MJ.
I don't know how.
Hey,
we were
cute.
we were trying to look at Gracie's Norwegian like family line, and I'm not lying to you, it was a bunch of Holga and Gertrudes. And we're like, well, back to the drawing boards.
Peacock.
Gertrude Peacock. Well, I for one have learned a lot more about labor and delivery today, and I know that if you're listening, you did too. So
Thanks, Heather.
thanks so much for being on,
having me
Heather.
on the podcast, guys.
You did great.
This was
Thank
awesome. You're natural. You need to start one with your friends, and maybe
I'm
you
gonna
could
release
just
Keep an eye out for
the
Heather's
archives.
journals.
Yeah, start the archives.
Heather's journals.
Heather's
coming soon.
journals.
It's coming to you on SoundCloud.
That's right. Well, cheers. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. And as they say in the furniture business, cheers.